You know, my concern and my answer to this, let me take your last question. And I had earlier answered that what is important to us now as a nation is to have a leader with vision, not ambition. And a leader who can see beyond 2023 into the 100 years to come about this great nation. That is vision. It is true that the old age of Methuselah has nothing to do with the wisdom of Solomon. So what is important is wisdom and vision. In which case, my answer to you will be, let the man with vision and let the man who can make this nation great, not in theory but in practical, let him lead this country. For as long as this nation will no longer be a laughing stock, and will no longer be called the poverty capital of the world, let him lead, regardless of his age. But what you should be asking, and I want to challenge you, the journalists, go beyond these your national anthem questions and dig deep into ascertaining the quality of leader who is coming to lead us at this crucial time of our nation's development. I wish the NUJ, all of you, the journalists, can call all the aspirants and come up with a question, present Nigeria to them, and let them know that, for instance, there are 14.5 million out-of-school children, that insecurity and killings have attained a worrisome height, and that this nation makes only 5.5 trillion every year. How will you fund your budget of 15 trillion, which is the basic minimum? How are you going to address your gross domestic product vis-a-vis the borrowing that have attained almost 39%, 37%, which means if you reach 40% or above your gross domestic product, your currency must be devalued. What will happen if dollar turns out to be 1,500 naira per dollar and a small loaf of bread becomes 5,000 naira, and yet salary is 30,000? I want you to ask these questions, and you guys are not helping us to address this matter. It's only then you can start separate the chaff from the wheat. We should go beyond these questions as to what age does or health does, and this one has done this. This is the same old politics we have been playing, the same old style of journalism, the same old type of politics, the same old style of governance, which keep giving us the same old results. Can we wake up and do something more practical? If I find anyone today who has something to offer more than I can offer this nation, I subsume my ambition. Why do we talk about campaigns and people declaration, when if you ask some people, what plans do you have for Nigeria? They will say, I will do this, I will do this, I will change the country will become Dubai. It's imaginary, it doesn't reflect any practical realities. The question journalists will have asked that, how have you been able to change your economic life? One. Secondly, who were you before holding public office? Are you one of the product of public office? That office made you, or you made the office? How much were you controlling or managing before you became a governor, or a senator, or a president? How could a man who has never managed 10 million naira all of a sudden manage trillions? So you are being deceived. I want you to go deeper in journalism, investigative journalism. Who was Okorocha before becoming a governor? What's my asset? Go to Conduct Bureau and get the asset and find out. This is a mistake we make. And secondly, if somebody said to you now, I'll remove the 14.5 million children out of school, find out what has he done before. How many people has he trained? But if I said Nigeria education will be free, believe me, I've done that. Now also find out the person's passion and love for this country. If all the people that you have made in your life are from your state and your political allies, you can't show love to Nigeria. But if I tell you I'll do that, I'm a Oboko man from a village called Oboko in Imo State, in that south. I travel 1,000 kilometers to Kano, out of love, to Sokoto, to Zaria, to Oyo. Today I have more than 5,000 Yoruba children, 5,000 Fulani children, 5,000 Igbo children. Other tribes have trained. If it's not love, nothing can take me there. That does not mean that I'm too rich, that I don't need a guest house in London. Or I'm too rich, that I don't need all the things in my village. So if I tell you I will unite this country and I will build a new Nigeria where there will be no more Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, but Nigeria, believe me, I will do that because I've demonstrated it. These people, can they tell you what they have done with their life before? And the third point you should ask is, how have you in your life been able to manage your 10 naira to become 20 naira? That's Dubai, that's China, that's Japan, that's Korea. It's business, gentlemen, it's business. How have you been able to do that? But if it is that because you were a civil servant, you were a teacher, all of a sudden political leaders who want to control somebody take you and make you a governor. From there you become governor, then you start buying houses. You say you don't know nothing, you have not managed anything. We need dealers now, we don't need managers. That's why we have so many people with ambition, without vision. We need leaders who don't managers. Managers works when institutions are working, everything is good. But when there's nothing on ground, you need leaders who can think outside the box. That's where I come in. And I stand to be challenged by any person who thinks otherwise about this, not about sentiments. But why do I speak on the sentiment for the first time about zoning? Is that it's not to destroy history, distort history. If you agree with me, there were 3 tripods, 3 of them upon which this nation was built: the Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. Imagine you now, an Igbo man, that after this tripod, the Hausa have gotten their share of this presidency. The Yorubas have taken their share of it. Then it is time for the Igbos to do so. He said, no, it can no longer be. Where then is justice, even where democracy does not dictate? How do you think generations of Igbo will feel if that's not done? Unless you are saying that in the whole of Igbo land, there's no single person with vision who can lead this country. I'm not even talking about South. South is stretching it. South is an understanding that it goes between the consideration of South and North. Let me tell you the truth. It's because we are considering the 2 religions, Christianity and Islam. It's true. That's what brought about North and South. But when it comes to the real nitty-gritty of zoning, you know that even the Southwest, just as it is wrong for the North, or it is not morally justifiable or justiciable, that after 8 years, another will take over. So it is also for the Southwest. But after 8 years, after 16 years, 8 years of Obasanjo, 8 years of Vice President, that another Yoruba man comes in. South may lay a claim to say, look, we have done only one time, we owe you one time. But I think even the South brothers can say, okay, for the people that have since inception, should be given a sense of belonging. What would that promote? It will promote effective unity. That's all that. Other than that, I'm not a support for rotation, because power is not bread that should be shared. But the reason that you have to give everybody a sense of belonging, to have a nation first, before you talk about democracy, it is very important. Have I answered your question, gentlemen? Yeah,